Okay. Hi cuties. I thought it was about time that we got into my home inspo decor type stuff in my new place. It's a little bit overdue. I've been here for just about 2 months now. I'm ready to get into it. I wrote down all my notes and I didn't even bring them over here. Let's get my notes. If you don't remember, I did a video very similar to this when I was planning out some bedroom decor in my old place, and a lot of what I spoke about and the themes and is still true. I don't think my style has evolved that much in the past like 4 or 5 months. However, my space is different. So I've been thinking about my furniture and my space in a little bit of a different way. Obviously, because the circumstances are different. I live alone now. I also just don't have as much room as I used to have. And I think I'm finally ready to get into doing this now because I've sold a lot of pieces of furniture that just didn't really work in this space, and I'm ready to kind of start the actual like putting up of art and doing the things that are going to make it feel a lot more like a home to me. Interior design and home decoration is something that I have always been interested in. I don't know if I'm always the best at executing exactly what I want. I think this bleeds into other areas of my life like styling and fashion and all of these things. Like, I know what I like, but sometimes I have a hard time discerning them for me personally or just discerning them for my space. And so I find it really helpful to kind of like gather my full ideas of what I want in my space. Ultimately, I really love things that are maximalist. I like spaces that look kind of messy in a way, but just because they're very lived in. I like soft and warm, but I also have been increasingly more into kind of like space age, futuristic, that sort of thing. Strike a balance between all my antique pieces and just being more contemporary. I just like what I like. And I have spent many years collecting trinkets and, random bits that just I'm drawn to. And that's what I think makes most people's homes so beautiful, especially those ones you go into, you can just tell are very lived in, is it is just a collection of all of these things that we find beautiful and a way to sort of see the world reflected back at us. Should preface by saying, and I think I said this in my last video about this as well, is that a lot of how I want my space to feel comes with a lot of time and patience and thoughtfulness. And so this is not something, I think if you have a similar taste to me, like you can't just buy this. I think a lot of what I see that I love is a space that has been thoughtfully curated over a very long period of time. So I'm going to be patient. There are a few things that I think I can do or I can work towards in a shorter term, but I think a lot of the design elements that I like in a home are just things that take time. Anywho, this is kind of like the overall feeling that I like for my space to exude. I like things that feel rustic, but like I said, I'm trying to find a balance between rustic and antique and something that's contemporary and feels appropriate to the age that I'm living in and like how that reflects in my space. And I don't have like an unlimited budget to just be buying cool pieces of antique furniture or, going on to First Dibs and like finding an incredible Tiffany glass lampshade or something like that. I don't know. This is my lust and desire to acquire a space like this with a budget and perhaps also DIY. I have a bunch of DIY things that I want to do. So like a lot of these spaces that you see here are like kind of, I don't know, they just look very lived in and have like a lot of trinkets. Like I love this, like just a collection of things that you have found in your travels. I also love this lampshade. Like I like purposeful clutter, and I was thinking actually a little shelf above my toilet would look very cute as well. And I don't mean in the sense of like going out and, buying a bunch of random little things to put them on a shelf. I think this is, again, what makes these spaces beautiful is that they've spent so much time over the years collecting these things. I'm really bad at styling shelves. I feel like that's so often why I have avoided getting bookshelves or any sort of shelving in any of my places, because I'm so bad at putting stuff on them. Like I love little knickknacks and things, but I'm just so bad at displaying them. So this is where I'm trying to grab inspo. I obviously don't feel the desire to like copy these exact shelves or any shelves that I see, but sort of, you know, in an effort to exude the same sort of feeling of, you know, coming upon a little mystery of trinkets in someone's house is just like so whimsical and magical. And I really love like paper lanterns. I love pops of color. I have this like yellow-ish wool blanket on my bed here that I really love. I've got that small red rug there. So I'm definitely trying to incorporate more color into my space, because I think before I was a little bit apprehensive of doing that. Like I always felt that like the absence of color made everything look more chic and kind of, I don't know, maybe I was like going for a more of like an austere kind of vibe, but I don't really love that anymore. I really love this space. Like I think this looks really beautiful. Does anyone ever have that though, when you like look at all these photos and whatever that you've saved for inspo and you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's nice, but like I can't imagine it for myself, and it's because it's like you're not seeing your own things in there. I mean, it's such a simpleton thought, but you know what I mean. A lot of the reasons why I also save these images on here is because I like to look at art placement. That's something I also really struggle with. But speaking of art and going back to DIYs that I really want to do, I've been using actually Skillshare a lot for this, and Skillshare is very kindly sponsoring this video, and I saw this. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so I took a screenshot of this, which is a beautiful, I'm assuming handmade quilted tapestry, and it's like kind of small. I decided that I wanted to do that myself. I have been on the hunt for a sewing machine, a used one, and I don't have one yet, but I've been watching so many sewing and quilting videos, and Skillshare has been so helpful and instrumental to me actually kind of like ingesting and processing the work that will be involved to make something like this. I was gonna get this off Facebook Marketplace, and then I realized that I could get my own fabric and make one that felt more suited to my space. And it's just fun to like pick up a new hobby or a new skill. If you're unfamiliar, Skillshare is a really big online community learning platform. There are so many classes you can take in so many different categories. I did one in the fall, doing some graphic design stuff, and I did this really cool poster class that still I think about all the time still, because it was just so informative and very interesting. But there's I mean, I even looked on there for gardening stuff, because I have a big patio now and I bought some seeds and I'm gonna start gardening. I actually need to sow my seeds. This is a good reminder that I need to get on that. It's a wee bit late in the season, kind of dropped the ball. There's gardening stuff on there, there's painting. I actually just started watercolor painting this weekend as well, doing like silly little things. I digress. The quilting class that I have been taking, it's called Quilting for Beginners, Part 1, Creating a Quilt Top with Julie Ray, and there's 3 parts to it. There's so many incredible resources out there, no matter what your niche is or what you want to learn about. The first 500 people to click the link in my description box or scan the QR code on the screen here will get a free month trial to Skillshare. And I've had some good feedback. I think y'all love it as well. These are the types of things that I have been kind of dreaming up when it comes to my space and how I can make it feel more like me. Also just feel like I'm putting in the energy to cultivating something that I really enjoy in the space that I really like being in. Getting into specifics, I don't need a ton of furniture. I already have so many beautiful pieces that I cherish so much, and like things I just like really covet. I think now we're getting more into like the styling and the detailed stuff. I'm so lucky that I have found as many things as I have, and like especially little trinkets and knickknacks. I think my focus now is to like take my inspo and start figuring out where certain things are gonna go, hanging art. That is something that I definitely struggle with, and I think is something that is hard. Like people who do styling or prop styling or interior design, like I think it is incredibly challenging, and I know what I like. It's like I have all the ingredients, but for some reason I can't bring it all together sometimes. I have a full blank wall to the left of me, which is like the wall my bed faces, and I have no idea what to do with that. So that's something I've been trying to figure out. I kind of want to do a shelf, maybe like one single long shelf, and style that with more things, get some art up on there. I still don't have a full-length mirror in here, which I really would like to get. In my living room, I did that like corner unit that I kind of planned out on IKEA. It's still a little bit like doesn't make the most sense, because like it's not specifically a corner unit, so half of the cubby on one side. Also I know that Ethan said no cubby things, but I don't hate it. I think it looks okay, and I think it's a great opportunity to have fun with styling and stuff. I sold my desk actually to one of y'all, which was so great. I just have my desktop on my dining table, which I actually think works. I got these beautiful dining chairs off Facebook Marketplace, and they had been in Vancouver for a while because I got my mom to pick them up, and I finally brought them over. So I have those, and they have this beautiful like pink upholstery, which at first I was gonna change, but I kind of love it. But now I just need to bring some art in there to kind of tie all the colors together. I want to change out basically all of the light fixtures that are in here. They completely redid my place before I moved in, and I just don't like the lighting that they picked. They seem pretty easy to change, which is great. And you know, surprisingly, I actually don't hate the gray floors. I don't love them, but I'm working with it. I have my rugs and whatever so that they're mostly covered. My bathroom also has like completely bare walls right now, and so I'm trying to figure out how to add art in there. So I would love your input on anything you think I should add, things you think are cool. I like to dream stuff up. So this is basically what I've been dreaming up. And maybe one day I'll achieve it, maybe one day I won't, but it's fun. I think that's the most important part of this whole process and this whole, you know, doing your space and doing your, like, it should be fun. It should be an amazing creative outlet, and beyond just being practical because you live in this space and it should be livable to you and your lifestyle. I think it's just a hell of a lot of fun. And I look at inspo and create things. I love it. I love it. Also, I'm really sorry that I always do the accents. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna share for now. Do we like home stuff? I hope so. Don't forget to check out the link if you want to try out Skillshare. And yeah, kiss kiss.